Alright, synchronize. As usual, feels like there's not enough light. Oh, better not leave that around. Jim, welcome. Good to see you, and you're the first person here. It's good going. Right. Put that knife safely away. Bring it out for when we want to play with the residual deposits of batteries after we yank them out. Alright. Let's get this battery out of here so it makes it easier for me. Yeah, so this is a 1466, of course, our favourite type of MacBook to work on. It's a 3437, which we're getting a few less of, mostly getting 165s these days. But yeah, 3437, and we are getting a charge current, or we're getting something, and it looks like a charge current. It's not to say it actually is. It could be some sort of bleeding short current. And I'm just trying to bide my time right now while I dig around my pile of poorly organized tools, trying to look for my T5. Now, where is my T5? Tweezers, tweezers, tweezers. I've bent my tweezers, I can't believe it. The reason why I'm looking for the T5 obviously is so I can take the battery out. And there, normally my T5 is very prominent. Ah, there it is. Because it's got the red paint on it. Alright. Defom, you can still go to sleep. Just means you'll miss out on everything. That screw's a little bit loose, which means this machine has taken a bit of a shake, rattle and roll. But I was able to deduce that regardless, because if you look at the corners on this machine, they've got the rather classic look of, you know, being bent. I see 1042. Just gonna put our code down on this so that we don't use these parts for the wrong thing later. Likewise, the all-important data drive kept safely aside. Hey Hyperman, what have you been up to? Got an annoying fix of an error from another repair shop tomorrow. Oh, that'll be me, maybe? They knocked something off the board, tearing through oh, gross. I've got a video coming out, perhaps, of an iPhone 8 I did today, and quite frankly, I don't know if it was me or the previous shop that did the damage, but they knocked off a part and I had to fix that up. Hey, Gavin Brown and Lag, DJ, Christian's here, Blazing Magazine. Hello, Blazing Magazine. Watching from Nairobi. Oh, that is, I don't think I've had someone at least not openly say that they're from Nairobi. Welcome. A news account. Yeah, we've got a bit of dust floating around on here. Might just use the fume extractor to extract it. Well, that was a screw. I just noticed that was a screw. And now I have no idea where it went. It'd be funny if that was what was causing it to stay off. I don't know where that screw went though. It didn't go into the extractor. It did not go into the extractor. That was the screw there. Wow, okay, this could be interesting. It could be a case of the screw has rattled around and shorted some things, so that's not going to be good. That's actually going to be quite bad. I can only hope that Yeah, maybe it didn't do anything. I'd love to know where that screw went though. But at least we know which one it was. It was that one there. Yeah, this machine has obviously seen some serious days of action. Yeah, I thought there was something like a screw in that fluff, but I just didn't really think it would be. What do you know? It was. I didn't have my glasses on when I was doing that, so that was a mistake. Okay, this feels like it has actually been disassembled before. A lot of the things are coming out fairly easy. It's not a guarantee it has been disassembled, but yeah, just has a slight feel of it. I'd love to know where that screw went. Somewhere over there. Yes, the 1466s are comparatively close to invincible, especially the 3437s. The 165s not so much, but the 3437 is pretty close. If you wanted a durable MacBook, then yeah, I'd be putting my vote in for the 3437. Things like the 3115s for the 1278 machines, they're pretty good too, but I think the problem with them is that the high component count tends to be their downfall. And I'm sort of ignoring the age-related ailments that they encounter now. I think that's about it. There we go. And yep, this, well, I don't know if this has been replaced, but this is a FRU board. Alright, it's a refurb board. It's a dreaded 639 white sticker board. Now, if this was a 165, I would probably give up around about now. Actually, I wouldn't really, because I'm doing a YouTube video, so YouTube videos means I spend way more time than I should on a job. All for the sake of entertainment. But yeah, when you see this sticker, the 639 sticker, it's not a good sign. It means it has been refurbished. Or this is a refurbished board. Probably goes along with the fact that the bottom panel it only had one line of text on it. Usually I'm used to them having more than one line of text, and I actually initially thought that this was going to be a 2012 or a 2011, but I was very happy to see it was a 2011. I was very happy to see it was a 2013 when I opened it up and find it's a 3437. Scratch the nose. Hey Alexi, good evening. Well, Miles, the trouble is refurbs often are from the sweatshop. I've seen some pretty... okay, so this is a 1.34 gig. I don't know if you can get a lower grade board than this one, a lower performance board. Hey Steve K. So if this completely is no good, that's fine. No matter what board I pick to replace it with, it will probably actually be an upgrade for them. But I am hoping we will fix this, though I am a little concerned about the damage that screw may have done. Strongly... holy crapola. Okay, welcome to why even official Apple refurbs are a pile of junk. Look at that. Okay, so this originally would have gone in with liquid damage. That's, you know, the original board in the original Mac got liquid damage, they replaced it, they sent this to the refurb, and the refurb people did not properly clean it off. And so now we have these test pads that are no longer test pads. They're just more, well, they're islands, the separators. See, there's no test pad there, no test pad there. It's just scratched away, straight back to nothing but bare circuit board. Well, fiberglass. So that's two that aren't functioning. This one here maybe is holding on, but obviously we're gonna... No, that's broken there. How's this thing even been running? But yeah, this is why when you see the white sticker, you got to be prepared for anything. I don't even understand what I'm looking at here. Okay, so those three are basically gone. That there, yep, that's a cluster job. That's an important resistor, that one there, and it has not actually been soldered down properly. Either that or the corrosion's just growing up from underneath it. Honestly, I've seen better soldering on people modding graphics cards. Is that even soldered on? That is a picture of a disaster. G'day, how I got your I got the Magsafe tester just, I think it was today or yesterday, and when I get the opportunity I will bring that into the channel. I've got to trial it out first before I head to make sure I don't make a mockery of anything. I don't know how this board has been running, in all honesty. It's bad enough that those SMC ones, the pads are gone, but that resistor there is quite terrible. We'll go and have a look. I always forget what it's for. I know it's important, but I always forget it. So it's this beastie here. Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. It pulls up the SMC reset L. So without that being connected, the SMC essentially stays in a reset state. It's, well, worse actually, it stays in an undefined state. So it'll flick up, flick down, flick up, flick down. Yeah. Might be hot glued on, that's the stuff. Yep. Yeah, I know you told me that you'd sent it, and I got the notification that it was on its way, and honestly, I pretty much had forgotten about it until it turned up, and then I was like, oh, that's right, yeah, so I remember you notified me that it was coming. Yeah, it's very slow, everything's slow at the moment. Alright, well, looks like it's primarily, fingers crossed, primarily this is janitorial work. The big R5115, 5115 is always missing. That's not actually meant to be a resistor there. We use 5115, that there, and also that, holy shit. So these people have been, oh wow, yeah. These people have been trying to find out what's wrong with the board at some point, and so they're constantly shorting this out to try and hit the hit the power button effectively. That's what those pads are for. They're just there to let you press the power button, so to speak, without having it connected. Yeah. Well done, Apple's certified refurb. And there's corrosion under that unit there. Yeah, so, and the thing is, the corrosion we're looking at is not corrosion that has developed since the board was worked on. Okay, maybe the resistor here, the R5100 is, but those test pads by the SMC, that has actually been washed. So whatever corrosion was there, they washed it, but they didn't clean it up properly, and they didn't, seal it up with any sort of UV cover or anything like that, and so it just kept eating away. Yeah, this one here is a no stuff, but its intention is it's there explicitly so that you can press the power button in effect. They have no other purpose. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, you know what I need to do? Fix my damn tweezers. Look at this. That's really not good of me to have done that. I was getting desperate trying to dig something out. I should not have done that. These are good tweezers and I can't really afford to run out of them. So hopefully we can straighten this out without too much damage. Because obviously that point there is going to, they're going to be weak now. Looks like they could do with a clean. Big time. Okay, we'll just heat them up a bit. Put them through the brass ball. Yeah, it's good enough. It's not like they're going to stay pretty for very long once I get working here. I really don't think that that's even properly connected. I'm not willing to try and twist it off because the pad that goes down here, it's just a veer stalk, so if I muck it up, that will be the end of the day. What the hell, are they super glued this on? Okay, there we go. You are out of here. You're going to be a dud no matter what. Defcon, Harold can tell you, basically, well, look here, I've not actually used this yet, and the problem is that I don't have an appropriate, this is the Magsafe tester. I don't think I've got the proper cabling here at the moment. Let me just see. Like I said, I don't want to mess up my chance of actually putting on a good image for how. Oh, here, okay, here we go. Basically, if you go through multiple, Magsafe units, as far as I understand, damn it, here we go. So far as I understand, this will let you quickly discriminate between good and bad ones. Okay, I may have to change the brightness on this somehow. Yeah, it says connect Magsafe charger. Can we come up? Yeah, connect Magsafe. Everything's backwards here for me. So this is a non-official one. And that's, what is that? That's Magsafe 1, is it? So it's bad CRC. Everything's wrong with that. So I'm not sure how I'm just trying to find the Magsafe 1. Here's my Magsafe 1 adapter. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is meant for Magsafe 1. Yeah, it is. Okay. So everything's upside down here. Okay, no data. Okay, it's testing. Okay, it's got a serial number, bad CRC, unknown manufacturer. This might not be getting enough power from this particular, and you can't really see it. Maybe it's easier if I do this on the microscope. Sorry, Harold, if I'm butchering your hard work here. I do apologize. Just give me a second. Not sure why the brightness has gone all funny on me. Oh wow, that's interesting. See how it looks completely black under here? That's because I'm using a polarizer. On the microscope there's a polarizer, so you can't see anything. Sorry, Harold. Let's see if we can zoom in. Rely on the gym cam. Okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so it can tell that this one's no good. As when I say no good, it's basically, it knows it's not a genuine, and we know it's not genuine, and that's not a problem. But I am curious, Harold, how do you go about with Magsafe 2 versus Magsafe 1? Because like, if I want to test this Magsafe 2, that's a Magsafe 1. How do I just plug it on still, or is it not going to... They don't really align though, do they? Alright, this is, as far as I know, it should be a genuine. Yeah, I think as Harold's saying now, the first portion here is the loaded voltage, which we should see as being 18 volts. And when it has the no load voltage, it should drop back. But if it doesn't drop back, then it's definitely not genuine. Or it's faulty. Okay, so we try this one, which I hope is genuine. It did come from Apple. Okay, so CRC was good. It is an Apple I. It's an 85 watt unit. So 16.9. It's actually easier for me to read on the screen. And 0.3 with no load. So this is a genuine Magsafe that I have here, 85 watt. Yeah, so that's good. I think if you're a shop that goes through a lot of, you got to test your Magsafes, you go through a lot of them, or maybe you're with a school or a university, you're doing bulk lots, then having something like this to allow you to quickly discriminate between the dodgy ones and the not so dodgy, the genuines, that's going to be very useful. And certainly for me, when customers bring to me items and then I sort of go, is this a genuine charge? And they go, oh yes, then I can at least discriminate them now. You can attach either Magsafe one. Oh, okay, so it's, yeah. I just wasn't sure whether I was allowed to, Harold. I was worried that I would butcher it, and I didn't want to butcher it on live stream for you, because then you'd probably never speak to me again. It's funny how everything I want to do is the opposite of what it's equipped to do. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is another 85, and oh, okay, see, it says actual Magsafe too. That's cool. And again, it's a proper one, so yeah, so that's handy. That means when I buy the cheap eBay ones, I can quickly determine if they're real or not. Harold, have you've got Ops, haven't you? You can put in your link to the Magsafe unit. Yeah, turn all my lights back on. And he does supply it with a nice colour matching cable. Yeah. For those who don't know, Harold produces a lot of very useful bits of equipment for MacBook repairs, including of course the Chipmunk, which is something I would not want to be without. It's one of those seemingly simple tools that save you a lot of time, and it's actually useful, good for diagnostics as well, because occasionally it will show you that you've got power on your USB port, but then it will also indicate that it's not properly 5 volts, and that leads you into knowing that where you got to go and look for your on the main board where the issue might be. So alright, let's get back to being the janitor. Thank you, Harold. Sorry that wasn't actually probably an official type of glitzy, glamoury product reveal. I feel bad about that. I might just sort of cut out a video or redo it to do a better job for you. I feel like I did a bit of a disservice there in some ways, but on the other hand, it was a pretty genuine test. Okay, so we want that resistor and we want that, I don't know if it's a diode or a MOSFET, and we will not be getting it from this board. This board has been seriously done over. I think they took that board from a house that drowned and caught on fire, and that one's not much better, but I will take the transistor or MOSFET, whatever it is on that one. Although MOSFETs are actually transistors, it's just through common terminology that when we say transistor, we typically refer to BJT transistors, and instead of saying, oh come on, and when we say MOSFET, we're talking about, well, yeah, MOSFETs, which are also transistors, but we just don't call them that. What's more likely is that it's actually just a diode. That was stubborn. Yes, Jim, I'm getting my reception improvement now. It's getting there, it's getting there. Yeah, I forgot to clean up the pads before I brought the part across. Common newbie mistake that I persist in making. And the other one I make is that I keep losing my solder. What's this, Mel? What's Lewis should be paying for me? I feel like I need to clean that up a little bit. Oh, the Sweet Mercy thing. Oh, jeez. I'm lucky. Lewis contributes a great deal of assistance my way in many other ways. One thing I will note, we're going to have to scratch this board back a fair bit. Hopefully it shows up. But you can see there's a bit of a darkening of the board around here and here. That means that stuff has gotten underneath between the conformal coat and the copper. And if we just do, yeah, you see, as soon as I touch it, it just starts breaking away. So we have to clear that away, otherwise we'll end up with the situation that we had on those test pads. Stuff's like cancer. You don't get it all, it just comes right on back. I mean, it does make for a bit of an uglier looking board, but believe me, it's better to be alive in most cases. There we go. GameJoy, can you set the can the Atom set up also so you don't have to keep pressing the button? Yes, if you, well, I suppose depends on what you mean, but now that I've already activated it, so long as I pick it up within the next 10 minutes, it will resume where it was before. That's the standby setting. I only found out that because of people on the chat that told me. Hey Shad, oh, coffee funds. certainly can't say no to coffee funds. Thank you, Rashad. Okay, we need that resistor. That resistor gets yanked from most boards. Well, Michael, yeah, see what I'm saying? That resistor's missing on most boards. It's a subjective matter, I suppose, Michael. Oh, really? That'll probably do. I'm getting a bit rusty, but I seem to recall in South Africa their favourite sort of saying was, well, not favourite saying, but one of the sayings was, live fast, die young, leave a good looking body. Because that's just them basically being flippant about the very real risk of, well, the very violent sort of lifestyle that tends to be prominent in South Africa. And often in life you tend to have to take that sort of attitude. How'd you get on with the new oven? New oven is good. Let's see, you can see it just there. It's very nice. Absolutely no problem holding things like A20, 01700 boards. I can fit probably 5 or 6 of those boards into that oven now. I still haven't done the new controller. Like, I'm still using the old controller. The new one, I've got the boards and everything, I'm just waiting for all of my parts to turn up. Okay, so that's that part. Now I've got to rebuild at the very least those 3. I really don't know how that survived. I'm kind of curious as to what they are. SMC TMS, I do not know what that is. My freshly washed hair is falling in my eyes. Okay, I don't know what TMS is. TDI, oh, okay, alright. TDI. So I'm guessing they may be Thunderbolt connected, I don't know. Okay, so they're part of the JTAG system, which is why they didn't kill it specifically. That was probably just pure luck. This one here looks like it's probably disconnected as well. These could do a cleanup. I would say our biggest culprit was going to be this one here with the reset problem. I'd say that's why it was working for a bit and then finally just gave up. But even though they're not specifically required, I am going to repair them. Such a disaster though. I will agree that it is probably pointless me doing this. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that anyone's going to be using... Is that another track under there, or is it... No, it's just remnants. But hey, a bit of practice doesn't go astray. Oh, thanks folks. Thanks. There we go. Steve, my hair's not quite long enough yet to go back to the ponytail. It's getting there, it's pretty damn close, but it's not there yet. Okay, so we're going to put a bit of solder on each of those resistor ends, because that's where we're going to tag the wire onto. We don't have the greatest amount of distance on that middle one. Yep, that should do. Not really sure which wire I want to use. I think the usual crowbar stuff is going to be a little bit too thick. Yeah, may still do it. Yeah, may still do it. Yep. Hopefully I will not regret this choice. I may actually do it from the other orientation, although it does mean that the board is sticking into my gut. That's interesting. Was that done by me or is that... Nah. Looks like they cooked the board here. That was not done by me. I was hot airing this area here. It's far, far away from here. So they cooked that part. Trying to do whatever they were trying to do. Whoever these people were, I give them a... Yeah. I'm not going to give them a rating. They don't deserve a rating. They're that bad. Yeah, Jim, it would... it's probably not a bad idea, to be honest. Probably not a good idea either. Wouldn't a ponytail bring more of the grey in the focus? Ooh, harsh. Yeah, I'm becoming a... I think the bias of salt to pepper is starting to get a little too far into the salt zone. I guess we can't do much about it. It's inevitable. That was a spasm and a half. And I have no idea where I'll put that wire now. I cut the wire off and now I have no idea where I put it. Oh well. Just have to get another one. Certainly I can imagine the siren will be grossly abused. And what's going to happen is, at some point someone's going to think, it's okay, I'm a mod, Paul will get the joke, and then the siren will go off at just the inopportune moment, and it will cause me to completely truck up something. And everybody will be like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with a multi-$100 mess. And then you're all going to be like, it was a joke, man. And I'll be like, I kill you. And then when half of my subscriber base is dead, I'll be like, wow, why is no one laughing? So yeah, it's probably a bad idea. 2 done. The deluxe tester uses your DCM board to connect to the Magsafe, but as it monitors the power on the data line, it does effectively test the DCM board. I'll have to have a look at that. These tweezers aren't the best for actually getting a strand out. They don't quite have the grip area. And as he says that, he gets a complete strand out. Because that's what the universe does to you. It lures you into saying something, and then it proves you wrong. Ow. Might put a smidge more solder on that. Famous words probably I shouldn't be uttering. While you're fixing this, best check the JTAG LPC. Yeah, I think I did have a look, but yeah. Okay. Alright, so they're fixed up pretty well. You know, they don't follow the exact line of the original, but they're certainly going to be doing the job just fine. Now we have to dig around and see how badly damaged the others are. Yeah, do they need a complete trace fix, or can I get away with a blob fix? This blade is no good. I have to flatten the angle too much on it, which means I'm sort of catching out other things while I'm doing it. I think blob fix is going to be fine. Hey, Vladimir. Noosa Cat made a funny about Jason STS's lightning video. And we need to blob this up too. Right, best we don't short those lines out. You really don't want those shorted. Good, it's looking good. A3X. The man who leaves cryptic messages. Start jumping FlexGate for the 1706. Oh well, 1706 FlexGate cable jumping. I won't even bother doing that. I basically just tell people, new screen. Yeah, it's fixable, but I prefer to see if the customer will actually go for the complete screen replacement outright. There's a lot of semi-iffy connections here, but I suspect most of them are going to be fine once the ultrasonic gets a hold of them, shakes them around, cleans them up. Hey, Mr. Hug. Day's been good. It's been busy. Oh, okay. Well, we found actually the real fault on this board. How has this board been alive? Check it out. That, yeah, that pretty much, yeah. Is that even shorted, or is it blown past being shorted? You reflowed the RAM and now you've got nothing. Yeah. Well, maybe you didn't. Did you wash the board? The beeper says, nay, this board needs a replacement cap. That's interesting. Interesting because it actually gave us charge current, or at least it looked like charge current. So we're going to have to replace that sucker. The laptop worked for 18 hours after the reflow. Crackiator, yeah. Tantrum caps, as I like to call them. If it worked for 18 hours after the reflow, I do wonder whether, if you washed it, okay, if 99%, you probably got scum under the board, under the caps or something. Not the caps, the CPU or the PCH. I would say if you could ultrasonic it, do you have like a little compressed air can or something like that? I would say you need to blow out whatever is under the, what do you call it? Under the memory chips. My guess is there's flux, contaminants or something that's sitting under there and it's causing it to not work properly. So if you can rinse it again, it would be good if you had ultrasonic, but if you can rinse it again and then blow out under the RAM chips and stuff, you'll probably find it comes back to work. I have a large ultrasonic batch. Yeah, try ultrasonic it and blow out underneath the caps. That's what I do now. I used to have problems where about 10% of my boards would not work after ultrasonic, but then if I left them for a couple of days or put them through another cycle on the drying machine, they would usually start to work, and that was because I wasn't using a small compressor to just blow out all the liquid from underneath before I put it through the drying oven. As I said, it's not absolutely essential, but it definitely improves your success rates. And the fact that yours has failed shortly after, like 18 hours after, makes me think there is some sort of junk under there. That would be my guess. I'm not saying it is. Not absolutely, but I'm saying there's a reasonably good chance it is, based on what I've experienced personally. Don't be a welded bastard. Good job, you weren't welded. Very frustrating when those caps go completely nuclear, when they chuck a full tantrum and they weld themselves onto the board. To be honest, I usually find large inductors, compressed ferrite inductors tend to do that more often, because the compressed ferrite gets hot enough that it forms a bit of iron, and then that iron just eats its way into the board, and that's the end of that. Okay, I suppose we better put a new cap on there. First we'll check to make sure that the short is removed, which I suspect it is. Okay, first Mac, well congratulations on that. Glad to hear it actually worked for a while there. I'm not saying it is that fault, but yeah, give it a shot. Okay, so we don't have a short anymore. Thank goodness. I would have been very surprised if we did. Oh, it's this disgusting board again. Amazingly, the cap that we want is probably one of the only non-disgusting parts on that board. Now we're going to make it disgusting. Come on, I'm trying to pick up my piece of solder here. It is really sad when those compressed ferrite inductors do that and destroy a board. It's sad because you're sitting there thinking, where the hell was the fuse in all this? Why didn't the fuse come to the rescue? But the trouble is that when those compressed ferrite inductors go off like that, or because of a short further down the line, it's usually not enough current to actually trip the fuse. Oh man, this is a seriously ugly mess. Which is why it allows those inductors to melt their way into the board like some sort of deranged nuclear reactor that's gone out of Chernobyl style. Because it just doesn't trip it. It doesn't trip the fuse. There's not enough current going through it. There's enough energy going into that little teeny tiny part. But as far as the Mac overall is concerned, it's like, yeah, we're fine. I guess the closest analogy I can think of is the fact that if you put your finger on a 0603 part, like, it only has to dissipate maybe 1/4 of a watt and it will burn a hole in your finger. And so when you think about it, 1/4 of a watt, it's assuming what voltage you're using, but let's say it only, maybe only needs 1/4 of an amp, if we're doing 1 volt, 1 ohm sort of thing. So it's not going to trip most of the fuses, but it will eat through the board. Alright, so did I put on that right? Yep, that's right. That has been an exciting repair, this one. It's all over the place. Hopefully it works, because I want to get paid for this one. And JTAG looks fine. I'm going to leave it be. You can tell the story about how it was cut off from the world, off from the SMC, had to spend all those months not being able to talk to the SMC, and then it saw the big explosion off to the side when the tantrum cap finally gave up. Can a fake Magsafe charger damage a MacBook battery? I don't know if it can damage a battery, but not directly, but it may be able to indirectly through the fact that if it damages the ISL, then it may cause the ISL to then damage the battery in terms of charge management. Don't quote me on that, I'm just sort of speculating. NEN versus NES, yeah, that'd all be same. Well, I shouldn't say they're identical, it's probably just different batch number. Okay, let's hope the chipmunk tells the story we want to hear right now. We want to do it with the Magsafe too, though. Fingers crossed we don't get a kablammy, although you guys will be after a kablammy. I want a fan spinning green light blink. And looks like I'm getting nothing. Crap on a cracker. Wow, this is really something. Alright, so this has taken out quite a bit. Seems like our SMC is running. Not sure what to think about this one now. Okay, voltage mode. So much for that. We've already fixed a bunch of things and it's still not giving us It may be our ISL is dead. No, Andrew, I want to try and fix this one. 344, it's actually running high, which means it may not have actually a load. Let's check 3v3 RTC. And we'll also check, I should have checked what 3v3 RTC is running way high. That's 3.4. That should be down at 3.3, 3.35. 3.4 is quite high, to be honest, which means I'm wondering if PP bus is out. PP bus is 0.6. That explains a lot of things. Alright, we don't have PP bus, so I guess the natural thing here would be just to replace the ISL. You just take a pot shot, guess, okay, look, we had a great big short on the main rails there with that cap. It's more than likely that the ISL got taken for a serious hit. We will check the resistances on the current sense lines there. Okay, so that's supposed to be 22. I'm going to put that down for the moment, just simply as temperature variations and things. 3.2. Okay, so they're not completely out of the whack. But yeah, in this particular instance, I'm going to go, we'll replace the ISL blindly. We're not going to bother testing, other than the fact that we only got 0.5 volts. Yeah, I just want to get this. Damn it. Damn this blade. I'm sort of jumping into that because I know from the past that when you get those caps blowing up, the ISL almost always gets taken out. Well, don't take out the resistors, Paul. Is that big resistor next to the big cap? Okay, which big resistor are you talking about? And which big cap? Are you maybe talking about these two? No. Yeah, let's go for, I'm just going to go for the blind shot. And then if the blind shot doesn't work, then yeah, we have to do some soul searching. Near the ISL. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of wondering how the hell... Wait a second. The fuse is blown. Because the SMC should not be up and running and giving us the green light or anything. If we have PP bus, we need PP bus to get the SMC running. So if we only had 0.3 volts on... Oh, this makes no sense. Continuity mode. Yeah, fuse is blown. Fuse is dead. That said, I actually still would replace the ISL in all honesty. It's not a zombie fuse, there's definitely... It's dead, or at least pretty close to it. That voltage we were picking up was probably just through leakage or... yeah. Just got to take the Wi-Fi module out. So I would say the fuse is dead, ISL is dead, and we should be good. I don't think the MOSFETs should be dead because they can handle a lot more. Is that a burn mark on that large resistor? Oh, geez, I wish you people would give me resistor numbers. Come on. Help me. Help me help you. Help me help you. There's no burn mark on this resistor that I can see. It looks pretty good. See, that all looks perfectly satisfactory. 7101. That's the 4.7 one on the side here. Oh, is this maybe what you guys are talking about? If it reads anything less than 5, I'll be happy. 4.7 on the mark, that's fine. That's the one you keep blowing, okay. I guess it depends on why it failed. So like if you have maybe an external cause for the failure, that may be why that blows, versus an internal short. I don't know. I just noticed something too. There's physical damage on that diode up there. You might not be able to see that. Goodness sake. There, I don't know if you can see it, there's a chip taken out of that. A chip right off that block. It's not necessarily dead, but it's just another indication of the piss poor treatment that this board has received from so-called certified Apple refurbishers. And to be honest, I think almost all of us who have had to deal with these 639 type boards can relate. From a business perspective, yeah, I've spent too much time on this board now. As in, this board is not worth the time that I've spent on it, given that I do have existing refurb units. But the thing is, this board is, or at least I hope is, assuming we don't have an internal layer short, this board is repairable. So whether I put the time into it now to fix it, or whether I replace it with a refurb and then fix it later, the time is still going to be spent on it. If on the other hand it was a complete waste, as in, you know, it was a severely liquid damaged or whatever, then yeah, I agree, it'd be wasting my time. Man, they can be such a... little parts like that can be a real pain to align. Can't really expect any better from a sweatshop. Well, I suppose you got a point there. You get what you pay for it. I suppose that's what you're saying. Yeah, let's see how this fuse is without any... Yeah. That's a big fat, definitely blown fuse. I'm glad my brain actually kicked in there before I went too far. Because otherwise I would have replaced the ISL and it still wouldn't have worked, and I would have went, what's going on? But because I realised that the fuse is most likely blown, hence getting the stupid voltages, even though I was getting the Magsafe activity, it means I was able to understand, make sense of everything. So yeah, we are still going to replace that ISL. That does not escape being replaced. That must be replaced in these scenarios. It may function okay for a while, or it may function okay forever, but given the damage of everything else, it's best to do it. I don't know why I'm scrounging around there. I just need a fuse. This one will do. Yeah, Hypermon, it's a real kick when you realise that your brain actually saved you for a change. So what an amazing feeling. Come on, this is taking too long. Here we go. Won't take anywhere near as long as this one. And it's got head in pillow syndrome. I'll fix that up. All fixed. Sometimes you're getting the head and pillow syndrome due to the part not being warm enough, and so basically the solder won't flow onto it. Other times it's just because of a little bit of oxidation. Yeah. Thanks, Mario. Yeah, I do like these tweezers. I'm definitely very happy with their style, so which is why I was very unhappy when I damaged them. But they seem to be okay. It will be a little bit weaker because of the fact that I bent them back, and I don't think I can really anneal them back. I'm not sure. I think it'll be permanently weaker now. Just scraping off all the carbon that builds up on them. I dare say the carbon's mostly flux residue that's stuck around for too long and just simply burnt down to all the organic components. Because it is still, it does contain pine sap in it ultimately. Alright. Okay, so we're not going to power it up straight away. We are going to replace this ISL. I know that does deprive us of confirming or denying whether the ISL truly is at fault or has faults, but I'm not willing to power this thing up with a potentially faulty ISL and cause damage. Like maybe, I could damage the SMC, which we don't want. You might want me to damage the SMC so that I have to replace it, but I don't. I'll check the fuse later. I'm fairly sure the fuse should be okay because I know the board that I took it from was a machine that had power and everything like that. It's not it's a donor board that I actually know the history of the donor board, as opposed to being a AliExpress donor board. Okay, now we begin the process of trying to find a viable ISL. Yeah, it's a very sad, long process. Nope, you're not viable. Yeah. Look at some of these shitey boards I've got here. These are like 2023s or something like that. Nasty little boards. Yeah, so look at that. That's a pristine little ISL there. Comes from a different board, but it's very pretty, so I'm not going to be prejudiced. In fact, it's about the prettiest ISL I've seen on a donor board ever. We did check for shorts on that line. That's when we removed that cap. The big tantrum cap with the big crack in it, that was on that line, which is why the fuse blew. And then when we replaced the cap, we did check it again, and lo and behold, it didn't have a short on it anymore. It's alright, Gavin. Maybe I could just do one night of doing nothing but SMC reballs from all the ones that I've taken off but found not to be at fault. So Lewis can have his Ask Me Anything streams, and I'll have SMC reballing streams. Somehow I think he's still going to make a lot more money than I am. Got way too much solder on that center pad, that's why it's all jumped around like this. Yuck. So we're going to have to collect all the excess. And funnily enough, it's actually, that's well enough aligned in my opinion. I'm not going to tempt fate by prodding that. I will reflow it just to give it a chance to reassert any sort of surface tension and just break any possible ultrafine solder trace that may have remained connected as I squeezed out that center pad. You know, sometimes you can just get a really fine bit of solder. Alright, that's that. I think we can have a shot now. Hey Jason, how's it going? Jason, have you sent that package? Because I haven't received it yet. I need to cool this down. What's this? What do people want me to do? Miles, what is it you want me to do? Can't see what you guys are conspiring me to do. Jason, yeah, it's been an interesting board because it's got old damage from when it was originally damaged before they put it through the Apple refurb, and then there was the actual damage by other refurbers, and then there was the new damage, which was what appears to be a fairly exceptional short circuit. Okay. Has a remote with the guy, didn't give it to you, so sending it to you. Oh, right, yeah, can't test it without the, yeah, I agree. I was wondering about that. Anyway, here we go. Well, we got power, we got fan spin. Now this is 3437, so yeah, it should do that. Come back up. No, that's not good. I'm not sure whether there's a bit of junk on my Magsafe here though. Yeah, there is. There's a tiny resistor on it. Okay, let's try that again. I think it wasn't sitting on the Magsafe properly, I think. Okay, that's good. Come back up. Nope, we've still got problems. That's interesting, it's dying. You know, maybe it's okay. Let's see if we get a green blink. No, it's okay. Maybe I was just hyperactive, hypersensitive. We've got the green blink, so it's good. Oh, since I recommended a Reball night, I recommend the Thunderbolt chip. I've actually done a couple of those. Not fun, but I have. PMICs on the latest machines are fun too. They're basically like a small iPhone CPU. They're not that bad. If you get the solder paste right, then it's pretty straightforward. And you keep the temperature down, you should be okay. Okay. We are going to... my ultrasonic cleaner's up to temperature too. I'm going to put this into the chassis and have a look. Didamraz. Hello, welcome. Ice cream reward time indeed, good sir. Not that I get to have much ice cream these days, very little. I would love to gluttonize on ice cream, but my liver says that it doesn't really appreciate me doing that. Personally, I think it's really selfish of it. It's like, I grew you, liver. You get to live rent-free inside of me, and now you're telling me that I can't have ice cream? Can you try the Magsafe tester on the USB of a Mac? Oh, right, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I'll give that a shot. I'm trying to think how I'm going to do that. I'll tell you what, Harold, I've got genuine Apple charger, which gives out a very good 5 volts, and I'll go get a decent lead for it. When I say decent, I mean, you know, long enough. Let's see, what have we got here? I have a feeling this is, oh Jesus, it's a micro USB. Paul doesn't know how to plug anything in. Okay, I'll be right back with a decent USB lead. The only trouble is, how will I test the Magsafe if I need the Magsafe to power it? That's the only trouble. Because, you know, I'm not going to be able to just run this straight off the battery, at least short term. So at least this is a initial good test. And then we'll try it once I've charged up the battery a bit, okay? Alright, so this is a genuine Apple 15 watt charger, I think. Yeah, so that's much brighter there. I figured that'd be the case. See, the one that this one I've got coming here, it's coming off the laptop. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, it's a long cable, and yeah. But yeah, you can see there, it's perfectly good now. Nice and bright and lively. So, and it's good at all angles. So yeah, no problems there. So, this is the Magsafe 2 that I use to power these machines with. I noticed it's running quicker too, so it was probably running at a lower clock speed or something like that before. The screen updates are much faster. Yeah, I like the frowny face. The frowny face is a good touch. A double frowny face. Yeah. Alright, so that's working. Much brighter, much better. Thank you. Is there a high-pitched noise coming from the tester? I'm not sure. I am not the person to ask when it comes to can you hear something, Paul, because I can't hear anything really. Remember, I'm the guy that there is a MacBook doing a bad RAM 3 beep sequence and I can't even hear it, but everybody else on the stream can hear it, and I'm right next to it and I still cannot hear it. So I am not a good guide for hearing things. What I mostly hear in my life is the sound of cicadas in summer. That's probably 80% of my hearing is cicadas in summer. Hot summer day with insects and cicadas going off. If you ever want to know what it's like. And yes, it can drive you a little insane. Tester beeps when you connect the Magsafe. Seriously? I did not hear it. Again, lack of hearing. Oh, and the gecko. Yeah, I can always hear the gecko. But yeah, for the most part, it's just like, I don't know how to properly describe it, but if you ever watch a movie or something like that and they've got that hot summer day afternoon sound with all the insects like going bzzz and the cicadas, you know, well, that's what it's like. And yeah, so most of the time it really doesn't bother you too much, but if you're having a bad day, it can sometimes get to you, and you get a little bit insane. Just a little, not a lot. We got to test charging on this now. Other people with damaged hearing will understand. Yeah, basically, as your hearing gets damaged, the tinnitus seems to kick in because it sort of replaces the nerve signals effectively, in theory. Give me a... Oh, this is a different keyboard. Yeah, Teresa, it's fun and games. Hey, Riston, I heard that at least. Okay. Jason, just put another chipmunk. How could you lose it? Went in the bin, that's tragic. I would be very unhappy if I lost my chipmunks. They're such a good tool for the fact that you don't have to do anything really with them. You just plug them in and that's it. You know, there's no messing around, there's no hauling it out of the cupboard and setting it up and plugging in wires or anything like that. You just stick it in the USB port and you've got yourself a bunch of valuable information there. Okay, 93%. Charging looks good. The battery's almost full, so that's fine. I think, yeah, Harold's working on a USB-C chipmunk, I believe. There are some complications involved with that, but oh, yep, Scary Daniels, as opposed to Scary Spice. Or okay, so now this is bottom of the range 1466 at 1.4 and 4 gig, or is it 1.3 and 4 gigs of RAM? So let's see how it goes with this. Hey, John Smith. Hey, Ed. Let's see, Rissen's not having any fun. Having to rework a pallet of batteries. Company have now decided trying to install suspect batteries is a bad idea. Oh, jeez. How did that even happen in the first place for them to do that? So we're doing 20 frames per second. That's pretty respectable considering that this is the bottom of the range, 1466. Temperature values are pretty good. Fans good, 3000. Yeah, I think we're right to go. Alright. Okay, well, that's it for tonight then. We're all good and happy. Machine is running. That was interesting for the fact that we had multiple faults, old faults, new faults, faults that I almost missed. But yeah, we're glad it's fixed, and the person who owns this will actually be very happy because they got to leave tomorrow. So if I wasn't able to fix it tonight conclusively, like knowing that, you know, found the smoking guns, then we were going to have to go for a board replacement. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, you take care. I'll see you later.